Hey there, and welcome back to Gran Turismo. This week, we're doing something a little bit different. By trying to get this Porsche around the ring as fast as possible. In reverse. And if you thought by trying this, I was going to wipe out right at the beginning, well, honestly, you were almost bang on. But that would have made the video incredibly short, so trust me, we do make it. The thing to place bets on is how quickly we complete that lap. Since I've had to restart this lap far more times than I'd like to mention, we're really able to throw this Porsche around the first section of curves. Even with the low revs strangling any performance out of this car, we still managed to make decent time, and it's not long before we hit the first straight. But just as we get to put the power down, we have to lift off for the upcoming hill. As the lowered car traction at the top of it, combined with a terrible flaw in our car's braking, means there was no way we would have stopped for these corners in time. But at least now that we can put the power down, allowing those revs to climb until we finally hit our top speed of 156 miles per hour. In reverse. If anybody is wondering about this fatal flaw with the brakes, well yeah, that's actually on my tune, and I am working on it. Basically what happens is if you put too much braking pressure on, the weight of the car shifts forward, causing the car to oversteer. Now as you've seen, you can drift this car in reverse, but in this situation, the car picks a direction for you at random, and when you're drifting left on a right-hand corner, well frankly you're screwed. So throughout this lap, you may notice me pulsing the brakes, trying to get as much braking potential out of this vehicle as possible, while retaining grip on the rear tyres, which are the front tyres, which are at the rear. Also, if you would be interested in a tutorial on how to build the car and set up the controls to reverse at these speeds, please let me know, and I'll look at getting one prepared, because then you too can really confuse people in online lobbies. At this point, it's the furthest that I've made it around the track in reverse. While I'm playing it a lot safer in the corners, I have to come to the realization that it's also costing me time. And in a time trial, that's not good. So I force myself to put the power down, building up a ton of speed in the corners. But when it comes to lose that speed, I hold the brake just a fraction too long. The rear loses traction, and before you know it, I'm in a wall. Luckily, the area where we crashed, we had to lose a bunch of speed anyway. So besides some scrapes to the paint, and my ego, we're still on track, if not a little rattled. Oh yeah, definitely rattled. I'm taking terrible lines into these corners, and it's completely destroying my run. What I need is to take a deep breath, refocus myself, and with that, we regain our composure, heading off down the straight with our renewed confidence. Okay, yes, we've got our confidence back, and that's allowing us to find the lines that we want to take a lot more easily. But the problem is, once we hit this corner, we begin our climb up the hill, and it's a tight corner, which means coming out, our speed is low. And since we've only got one gear, our ability to increase our speed is low, meaning it's going to take us a long time to build up a reasonable amount of speed. And due to me not being familiar with this track, I braked a couple of times, in areas that in retrospect, I probably could have taken at full speed, but maybe that's for a future run. Because looking back, I'm sure that I can knock at least 30 seconds off this time. I just have nightmares about trying to string all these corners together without actually ending up in a wall. As we come down into the corner, our attempt is almost ruined by our second grass-related incident of the day, almost ending our run. And this happened because the carousel is coming up. And honestly, I had no idea how I was meant to take this in reverse, or if it was even possible. I had two options: take the inside carousel, or safely go around the outside. I took neither option, flailing my way around the corner in what appeared to be a combination of those two previous options. Yet somehow we survive surprisingly coming out the other side alive and continuing on our journey. At this point, we hit the more corner-orientated part of the track. And while you might think, hey, that's gonna be difficult in reverse, strangely enough, it's this section of the track where the car seems to flow beautifully, allowing us to push with far more confidence and claw back some of that time that was lost in the uphill section. And on a side note, if you've made it this far and you're enjoying the content, feel free to like and subscribe to see more unusual content like this. As the car flies over these hills and around the corners, you can see the quick flicker of the brake and the accelerator as we use the brake to increase the turn-in of the car as the weight shifts forward, and then using the accelerator to understeer our way out of it, allowing us to tightly turn around the corners while retaining a decent amount of speed, showing just how competitive this car can actually be in the corners and not as slow as one might imagine a reversing car to be. There's not too many corners left in the track now, and I've got two voices screaming in my head. The first one is saying take it easy, we're almost there and I do not want to have to start again for like the 300th time. The second voice is saying screw him, go baby go. And not surprisingly, that's the voice we listen to, so we punch it, trying to finish strong. With our Porsche performing exceptionally well, and our lapse time being reasonable, we're feeling very optimistic, and we don't even hesitate when we come up to the second mini carousel, which surprisingly, we actually take correctly, before making our way up the hill towards the corners that are going to enter us onto the long straight section. And while that will be easy, I do worry about our top speed and how much that's going to cost us at the checkered line. The speed of our little Porsche slowly climbs, and it's not long before that poor boxer engine is bouncing off the limiter as the car screams its way down the straight and begins to climb its way up the hill. And this is the last time in the lap where our confidence gets the better of us. Slightly lifting off just before the corner that's going to lead us down to our final section of track. But from here, all that matters is trying to retain as much speed as possible while losing enough of it before we slam into that wall at the tight corner at the end, which the Porsche manages to do, snaking its way around the final few bends and on to the start-finish line, where the power goes down and it crosses the line for a time of 8 minutes and 14 seconds. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Ow.